guys, it's Jenna. I just wanted to share again another chapter of my journey and life as we go through this whole transition. um, we're getting ready to go to my laser treatment again. I've had 3 laser treatments approximately a few years ago. Did some a little electrolysis, and then like a year or so went by while I had to sort of let the hair kind of come out and grow and find out how much was left. So now we've been starting back up again. I've had 2 treatments recently over the last 6 months, and now I'm going back with treatment 3. As you can see, I've put my makeup on my eyes, but I had to shave here before I go in an hour, and then we'll be splicing all this video together so that you can see the different points. Now we're going to go into the office, and we'll be getting 1 hour prior to the session. I'll be getting this little numbing cream that I'll put on my face. I might drool a little bit, but it will numb up this area, and I'll probably talk a little bit like that. And then that has to stay on my face for 1 hour prior to the session. Then I'm going to go into the session with Nani. She's been great. And then we'll be administering approximately today about 25 blasts. Then I come out and keep going with my life. I have to keep out of the sun though for the next few days. Generally the next few weeks I try to minimize that, and I continue to apply that heavy sunscreen that has to go on right after your session. So yep, and we will see you guys on the next part. So yeah. Hi guys, we're on to step 2. I had to pick up, I like to call it, I usually walk in and say, ladies, can I get my BLT please? It's the benzocaine, lidocaine, and tetracaine. There's 20% of benzo, 8% of lido, and 8% of tetra. This is basically a numbing cream that I'm going to be applying with the applicator. And usually takes about 1 of these applications to do my full face. I'll be applying it all over here, this area here, and we have to let this set on for 1 hour. So my appointment is at 3:40. I'm going to be applying this at 2:40, and then we wait out the hour. I'll be taking my jacket off so that I don't get smudged and goop on me. A lot of times what people will use is they've got plastic wrap and they'll put it over it. I have looked awkward before leaving my house with a piece of plastic wrap across my face. I usually cut a hole for the mouth when I've had to apply it at home, because what I used to do on some of my other appointments is I would take this home with you prior to not have to worry about coming out beforehand. Even though it really upsets me that we even have to worry about dealing with people with attitude and issues in public the way we look without our makeup on. But that's a whole nother discussion. So we're going to apply this, and then we're going to get ready to go into the appointment, which will be approximately in an hour. And it's recording. So, hi everybody. I'm already starting to feel the effects of the numbing. I almost started to drool. Right here, I can already feel it. I was just talking about this with my camera person T a couple minutes ago. Look at what the crap we have to go through to keep dealing with. Some people, obviously they're not going to agree with me. They're like, yeah. But it's terrible. It's terrible. I mean, we have to sit here and go through all these sort of little steps dealing with this kind of crap. And what does it do? Because of ignorance and society having issues in the way they look at us. But it's not all about society and issues. There's also about feeling comfortable for ourselves. And it becomes a medical necessity. And this is what I want to make sure that I show, the raw footage that this needs to be done. Now, I wish I could capture, what I need to have is a camera going on in my glasses, because then you would see the real reactions I get when I'm in a store like we were a little while ago. We went to one of the dollar stores, and the person outside stares, and there's a lot of people that will contradict me for that, and they'll go, "Oh, I just ignore." They don't understand about ignoring. It's not about that. There's so much more to that. Do you want to add a little of your opinion on that, T? How you feel about that? You're behind the camera right now. If you'd want to talk about it.
I don't know. I just I think what you said is so true. And when we're out filming, I'm always watching, and I think it's important for people to see exactly what you said. The daily struggle, if you will, that you have to go through just because.
Well, they also have to see that I'm not paranoid. I'm not hypersensitive. That this stuff is real.
Right.
That they're not going, "Oh, she's making it up in her head," or if she just changed her mindset or her mind thought.
No, it's reality based.
Thank you. I'm not crazy. People might think I am. I mean, hell must be, right? Sitting here with this white goop on my face for an hour? What does that tell you?
Tells me that it's a courageous woman trying to be the person she was born to be, and that people need to see that side of it. Not always the courageous, upbeat, the true gut wrenching. This is the way I have to live because society and the medical profession just don't get it.
Right, and we were just talking about that. I think that's a great point to segue into that, is about how I get so tired of the segregation of the rich people can pass or have the money to pass, and I hate that word pass, because society needs to get more educated about us so that they don't look at us funky. Heck, I've still seen people look at. I've seen some. Now I'm not racist, but I've seen some white conservative individuals. Don't get me wrong, I got some wonderful friends that are white and conservative, but there's been some of them that will look at still a colored person differently, or someone in a handicapped wheelchair. They'll look at them awkward. So I mean, it's not just us.
No, there's a whole diverse group,
Just
whether it
because
be.
we're so-called a little different.
It can be overweight. It can be someone with mental illness that
Hmm.
shows the signs of mental illness.
Yep.
It can
And
be.
I don't try to walk around with extravagant outfits on to bring the attention to myself. I'm not like an egomaniac or egotistical. Uh, I try not to bring a lot of attention to myself. Obviously, when I'm on stage, that's a whole different, because that's a performance. When I'm behind the camera, that's a performance.
Right.
That's an art.
Right.
You're creating visual art, visual movement. Uh, and when I'm out in life as a human being, um, that is different. And I'm not going to be walking around with frail stuff on, generally. You know. Now, of course, if I just finish a concert and I got to take the subway home and I got to wear that home, that's a different story. But again, and I don't want that to sound like I'm not putting down anyone that wears anything out extravagant. Hey, my hat's off to you. By all means, hey, rock it out, please. That's not the point I'm leading up to. I'm just trying to get at that, covering the aspect of the types of individuals that tend to bring attention to us. And it's just sad. So this stuff has to stay on my face for an hour. The appointment's at 3:40. I started applying it at 2:40. Now it is about quarter to 3. So now we sit and wait. I usually will use my little smartphone or my laptop and use the internet at the laser treatment center that I go to. Um, and thank you to the wonderful folks who work over here at the laser center. We want to send a thank you out to them um, for helping try my best to work with me. Um, but it's not as it sounds. I'm not getting in-house financing. I have to dish all of it out myself. It's still full price. I'm not getting it at any discount. I just wanted to make sure that I also covered that part of it. But as human beings, they're being so kind, and good about the process in there, and I want to make sure that it is a good place to go. I don't want it to sound like I'm dissing this location. It's one of the few laser centers that is even available for this in the state of Maine. So for a while, I knew some people that had to travel down here. There's always a controversy between laser treatment and electrolysis, but that's a whole other discussion. And I actually did that, for a long period of time. I did electrolysis every week, every single week, and I had to still be this sort of, I had to portray the male image when I was going to do that, because there was no way that I could walk around in full female garb at that time, going to those places. I would be sitting on that table in a baggy t-shirt and male pants. And it's not a place I want to remember. I had to spend many, many, many hours getting that, and it was zapping one hair follicle at a time. Now this one does an approximate 1-inch diameter, these type of lasers. I'm getting 50 laser blasts for 200. So that is, and this is, you have to do it every 6 weeks, because you go through the catagen, intelligence stages of hair growth. That cycles between about every 6 weeks between each one. And there is a point where it's extremely active in the cycle. You have to try to capture that. The more painful it is on your face, even though this is supposed to be numbing, it's extremely painful. People don't realize how painful this is unless you've done it. Or if you're as, I don't like to use this word, hypersensitive as me. Because I know a lot of people that seem to be able to take the blast and they're like, or they're just lying about it. I just know for me, my skin is so sensitive, and you know that the more painful it is, that means it's grabbing onto that dark hair follicle and going down to the bulb and destroying it, frying it, burning it. And then usually over the next few weeks, we start to see the little hair fall out of your face, and they start to stick out, and I'll usually just pull them out with my finger, or sometimes I have a set of tweezers. But I try to be careful, because sometimes if they're poking out, they haven't been loosened yet. So it's like, ow. And I don't like to pluck, because it causes scars. So, and eventually I'm hoping to move in, and I have talked to them. They will laser treat here between my eyes, and they're going to try to thin these out a little bit more for me. It's very difficult, because I have to wear these tiny little goggles. I always close my eyes, though, because I don't want to cause any laser damage. And then they're going to continue on my chest. I have had 2 treatments on my chest already. That'll be continuing after the face. The face is the biggest part, because this is what everyone sees. So we'll move on to the next step after. So continuing. We are all done. The next session, and I'll be back again in approximately 7 weeks. It's usually 6 to 8 weeks. I picked 7. Sometimes I wish I could learn how to go to the monks in the Asian temples and learn how to take myself out from. These are moments when I wish I could learn to learn a technique that can help me separate from the pain. But so she did 200 something blasts on the face. We rinsed it off with in the sink, and she used this great awesome massage. I forgot what it was called. That helped take some of it off, and
she went with it, and thank you, T, for filming this and for being there to give me a hug and hold my hand during this treatment. So I wanted to thank you. Thank you guys for following this.
The only thing that's in the way is that. Do you want that in the way?
This one? That's fine. Alright, how are we? Am I good?
Hold on. I would say good if you move a tiny bit to the left. That's better.